Hello and welcome. This is Datslife here with Dave and Tom, and this is a Dats sport for you to you. And we are going to be reviewing the Bahrain Grand Prix that took place this weekend as our new, hopefully, our new regular segment to review the races as they go by. So, as I said, I'm joined here with Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Dave.
Hello. Are you well?
I am. I'm well.
You're well.
Yes.
You're
Are you well?
I'm marvelous. Thank you very much. So, did you?
So can I just say before we start that this is the first ever time podcast that Dave is doing all the work for.
Oh, just to add that, in.
Dave has decided to do his shift.
Finally,
after 4.5 years,
well, it had to happen.
He's going to edit and release this show.
Well, the trouble is, I didn't want to do it, and then it would be so much better than yours, and then you
don't want to put me to shame.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'll try not to be too good.
But what about the parts where we talk over each other?
I'll figure out.
Are you going to mute? Are you going to mute us? Are you going to mute me? Are you going to what are you going to do?
I don't know. It depends how natural. That's something I need to.
And what about the parts where we just go off on one and talk over each other?
That's part of the hurdle. So I'll work with it as we go. I'm sure you won't be so mean.
So what if I say and you're like, oh. Just gonna have to mute that bit now. We'll cut it out completely.
I'll just cut you out completely from the entire.
I wonder how much work I can give you. See how frustrating I can be for you.
Yeah, very.
This is revenge for all those times.
This is your sweet revenge. No, I thought you were a professional.
Yeah. No, I am professional. So what's coming up on the show, Dave?
Well, we're just going to be having our thoughts and feelings on the Bahrain Grand Prix. That's it. That's it. So I have you seen the race?
Yes, I have. Have you seen the race?
I did see the race. I watched the race on German television. Big.
Wouldn't be much point in me being here if I hadn't watched it.
Well, I don't know.
So Tom, what do you think of the race? Well, I didn't see it. Oh, good stuff.
I could just relay what happened to you, and you'd be like,
"Yeah,
oh wow, I wish I watched it," and I'd be more. Have some more things to say, but you did see it.
I did watch it.
Love, very, very good. It was a race that had everything, really, didn't it? It had close action, it had dramatic moments, it had teammates hitting each other, and at the end, true heartbreak for Charles Leclerc. I suppose we should start off with the eventual race winner. Well, actually, no. Let's not do that. Let's start off with the man who should have won the race.
Yes.
Charles Leclerc. What a performance! I mean, what can you say? Not a lot.
What can I say?
Not a lot.
Yes. It's a real shame because he didn't just he got pole, and then obviously the start wasn't very good.
That was his one.
And then he dropped down to third, and then he looked like he might drop down to fourth. And I was thinking, he's ballsed it up, it's gotten to him a bit. And then he just comes right back up and then passes his teammate in. You'd think basically the same car, and then takes the lead, and just drives off. Really,
exactly.
And the fact that he didn't win the race because of the car. I mean, I suppose at least he didn't bin it. That would have been worse.
Yeah. It could have been a race ending mistake. It could have been a race ending problem. But he kept going, and he brought the car home. Eventually, in third positions, what I was reading, he lost one of the cylinders, I think, in the car. So he was down about 150 horsepower, or the equivalent of about 4 seconds of that. I mean, there's not much he could have done in that situation, really. I think Hamilton was very magnanimous. Is that the right word in the press conference and the podium celebration? He understood that Charles, he's robbed basically, and I think that was all very, very plain to see.
But I think it's sort of a strange one because he's saying to him it's a real shame that you didn't win, and it's really it's sad and all that, and you deserved it. But then he must be sort of quite pleased in a sense as well because he's a rival. So you're
Yes,
kind of thinking like,
two
I
minds.
don't want to be too nice to him because in 6 months' time he might be winning the championship, and I might be like, I don't know, like it was like a teacher talking to a
Yeah, yeah,
student.
yeah. It was a very
That's what the impression I got.
agreed.
Whereas they're rivals, really.
Yeah, it was a very philosophical Lewis Hamilton. I thought
Yeah,
he was taking the higher ground. Obviously, stuff like that's happened to Lewis in the past, so he can understand it. But yeah,
yeah, and
you're
he's the
right.
champion.
He's very mature now. And hearing him say those words is it's great. It's great for Charles. It's great for the sport. But as you say,
Yeah,
Leclerc could well be his championship rival this year, and those points he won could be invaluable. Could
yeah,
be invaluable come the end of the season.
exactly, exactly.
So yeah.
How much do you reckon the what happened to him is connected to the first race where the Ferraris were way off the pace? Do you think they were hiding something in the first
Oh
race?
no. They wouldn't hide anything in the first race.
No, but not hiding, like hiding an issue, like trying not
Um.
to let the same thing happen in, like perhaps they toned down
Oh,
the
of course,
engine a little bit.
because Vettel, he was slow, wasn't he? That's a good point, actually. I think I've not really seen that before. Yes, it's true.
Yeah,
They could have been managing an issue that they didn't want to disclose, and the issue obviously crept up and got them in the
be,
clerk's car this race.
be, because they were so slow in the first, like not slow, they were still like fourth and fifth, but
Yeah,
like
not
where they wanted to be.
not Mercedes pace.
Whereas in this race, it appears that they were where we all thought they'd be, which is at the front.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Obviously, in the Leclerc's hands, the Ferrari was away and gone. He over, like you said, he
Yeah,
overtook. Apparently, Ferrari actually told Leclerc to stay in second place. Don't. I don't know if you saw that. Don't. You know the
really.
radio message where Leclerc says, "I'm faster, guys," early in the race, and then nothing. What they actually
Yeah,
said to him was, "Okay, hold station for 2 laps." That was
okay.
their response. Obviously, he just overtook Seb anyway into
Yeah.
into turn one, which was a great moment. So, interesting
Interesting.
choice
Yeah.
to go against what the team wishes there. But that's the killer instinct, I think, from the club, and that's why. Well,
Hmm.
Ferrari have got quite a decision on their hand. Well, not. It throws cat amongst the pigeons a bit because obviously Vettel's de facto team leader,
Yeah.
but he had a shocker of a race.
Yeah. And I'm thinking back to the first race when Leclerc was faster towards the end of the race, but then he came up close to Vettel, and then once he reached him, he then dropped back
Yeah,
again. Was that the
yeah,
team telling
because
him to stay behind
that
him?
was that was the team. The team instruction was to hold
Hmm.
station. Don't risk anything. Again, like you say, maybe they're noticing an issue. We don't know for sure,
Yeah.
but no.
But Leclerc, yeah,
So
yeah, it's an interesting one.
so moving away from the club, obviously he deserved the win, should have won. Vettel, what's going through his mind at the moment? He's being upstaged
He's
again by a
struggling,
younger
isn't he?
teammate. Yeah, upstaged. So beaten qualifying, obviously,
Yeah.
and then wheel to wheel racing with Hamilton, and Hamilton got the better of him. I can't tell you how brilliant that move from Hamilton was round the outside.
Yeah, around the
Oh,
outside, and then Vettel spun.
oh,
Because I thought at first that they'd touched,
yes,
and
yes,
then you
yes,
see it
yes.
again, and he's nowhere
Yeah,
near him
yeah.
really.
He's
He just
Hamilton's
spins on his own accord.
Hamilton's way gone, and I don't know. Vettel just spins himself out. It's absolutely bizarre, you know.
Because he said that it was his fault. Because the press was sort of saying, "Oh, was there like a strong wind or
Yeah.
something
That's what Lewis
that just threw
suggested.
the car off?" And he was like, "I don't know, but it was my fault. Like really, like it just snapped out, or whatever." And
Well,
it, it,
these
it
problems
seems.
seem to happen quite a lot. I mean,
Yes, I was just about to say that. Yeah.
yeah, ever since Germany last year, really, the amount of times Seb has made an error
Hmm.
a critical error, you have to say, whether that takes him out the race completely or drops him to the back, loses a lot of places. It seems to be happening quite a lot, and that's something
Yeah.
Ferrari can't ignore. I mean, if they
No, definitely.
want to be winning the constructors' title and the drivers' title, they need the driver. It goes without saying, doesn't it? They need a driver who's
Yeah.
consistently up there. And what's going through Sebastian's head at the moment? Yeah, it's a question mark.
It's quite interesting one because when he was at Red Bull, most of the time he he was leading, and he's really good at when he leads he can just drive away.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
seems to just be good at that when he's got the best car and he feels good in it. When he just isn't quite right and he's having to race, yeah, it's happening again and again now where I don't know what it is, if it's just I don't believe in luck, but perhaps it's just a string of bad luck where we all have
off days.
bad
Everyone has
times
off
in our
days.
lives,
Yeah,
and yeah, exactly. So maybe it's just a few that have come at once, or is it more of a big deal? I don't know.
yeah. Obviously, everyone makes mistakes, but unfortunately, Vettel's are quite high profile.
Yeah, I
So
suppose when you're at the best team, well, the biggest team and one of the best teams, it's a big deal when you spin, when you could win the race, as opposed to someone at the back has a spin, doesn't affect
yeah,
their result.
exactly. I want to move on now to talk about Bottas, just very quickly.
Yep,
So the winner of the Australian Grand Prix by a country mile, albeit
yep,
damage to Hamilton's car, and everyone's saying, "Oh wow, Valtteri Bottas! My goodness me, what an amazing! He's turned around. He's turned it around. He's going to be world champion this year."
yeah, yeah,
And this race, what did he finish? About 20 seconds behind Hamilton.
yeah.
And this
Whether that's a
race.
blip or not.
Yeah, well, exactly. This race felt more like Bottas from last year than and
Yeah,
he lucks into second place really because of the problems Ferrari had with both
yeah,
Leclerc and Vettel having issues. Obviously, he was there, consistent. He finished second. He's still in the lead of the title
yep,
race, which is he's got positive from that. But warning signs straight away. Hamilton had his measure, and he overtook him as well. Hamilton
yeah,
overtook him.
and he passed him.
Yes.
That's the thing as well.
Yeah.
He that pass was a real show of Hamilton basically saying like,
Yeah.
I'm leader here. Like
It was.
I'm coming through, and you're not going to stop
Yeah.
me.
Asserting dominance, I believe
Um,
they call
yes,
it.
yeah. And he was just better than him
The whole weekend.
in this
The whole
race.
weekend,
What whole
Hamilton
weekend?
had
Yeah.
his measure.
Maybe it just, I don't know, it was a bad track for Bottas. Maybe just the car wasn't quite right. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I hope the next race, or I hope we see the Bottas from the first race again. I hope I yeah, I know, I agree with what you're saying about last year. Like it would seem like the last year's Bottas, but I don't know. I still think he's got more to him this year.
Yeah.
There's a steeliness about him. Like,
Oh yeah. No, I think so too. I
yeah,
think there's more to come from Bottas, and as he progresses through the season, gets on top of things, and we go to circuits. He's good at. He should have won at Russia last year. Circuits like that, I
yeah,
think he should be one of the drivers to beat. Um,
yeah.
okay. Who else had what an interesting race? Lando Norris, obviously, scoring.
Oh, Lando
Yeah,
Norris.
you messaged me straight after saying, what was your hang on, let me just get your words. Uh,
I'm calling it now. Future champion.
yeah,
That's what I
I'm
think I
calling
said.
it now. Norris, future world champion. So on this day, that has been said. That has been written into the history
Yeah, just
books.
proof. Yeah,
Yeah. So Lando Norris finished in sixth.
sixth
He
place.
finished
Yeah,
sixth in
but
the McLaren.
but the reason I said that was more based on hearing him after the race,
Okay.
because whilst he was pleased, he was really pleased. It's kind of like, it was this like vibe of like, I kind of knew I was going to do this. Like, I know I'm good enough to be here. He just sort of fits in.
So
And
confidence that the way he conducts
yeah,
himself, he's got that air of confidence about him.
and he's wise as well. I think he seems to be like they say it, like a wise head on young
Yeah,
shoulders. Um, and he just seems to be the whole package, I think.
yeah. No, it's interesting. I think he did it. He qualified. He qualified quite well. He qualified. I think it was eighth or ninth, but he didn't have a good start. He dropped back a bit, and he basically finished sixth because of the problems occurred by the Renaults, which we'll get onto later.
Yep.
We'll talk about later.
Yeah. Well,
Um, which obviously playing McLaren. I want to bring in Sainz here, Carlos Sainz. Sainz was looking really racy
yeah, he
up
was because
until
he
Verstappen. Go
Verstappen.
go on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's pretty much what I was going to say. Like if I heard him post race saying that if he'd passed Max, then he felt like he could have caught the Mercs and had a
Oh
go at them
yeah,
as
he
well.
said that's right.
Whether
He
we
said
don't
he
know, but
had the pace. So that's incredibly encouraging
yeah,
for McLaren and McLaren fans. I count myself as one of them. That that Sainz looked like he had could have passed Max definitely, and that probably could have translated into
yeah. Well, he basically
third
had,
place by
hasn't
the
he?
end of the race if the car had kept going,
Potentially.
and if the race unfolded as it did. So that's well, what can you say? Obviously, ultimately, he had a racing incident with Max. Did maybe could have given Max a bit more room. It's one of
Yeah,
those 50-50. No action was taken,
yeah.
and he felt it.
I think
Yeah.
I think like you've got when it's Max. I think you kind of have to accept the fact that he's not going to give you an inch.
Yes. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
he is very good at wheel to wheel racing. Like he's really good at that. He's good at all. He's good at all of it, really. But um, it's difficult to pass him
He'll make his
without.
car as wide as possible. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and he will not give you an inch. He won't let it go until when he's completely been passed. So Signs should really know that
Well, his
now.
teammates with he was
On
teammates
his
with,
teammates with
so
him,
so
yeah.
he should, of all people he should know that. Yeah, it was one of those. It could have gone either way, and it just happened to be Carlos Sainz went down, and ultimately he retired from the race for whatever reason. But the McLaren
Yeah.
looked quick in his hands, and indeed in Lando Norris's hands. So as long as McLaren can actually develop their car well, they should be in good stead for the rest of the year.
Yeah, they at this stage they look like the fourth best team.
Indeed,
I'd
yeah,
say.
and they
The
hardly
Haas
got any
is
points.
qualifying well, but
Haas. Oh, okay. Let's move on. Let's move on to the Haas team. So Romain Grosjean, first of all, retired again. So he's actually at the bottom of the championship at the moment due to
is he?
both non-finishes. Obviously, the first race went out with a wheel come loose due to a
Oh
botched pit stop.
yeah.
We won't go into the details. This race, he had it coming
Yeah.
together with Lance Stroll at the second corner, which again, no action was taken on behalf of the stewards, and I kind of agree. It
Yeah.
was maybe Grosjean. I could have given a. You wouldn't
It's
expect him to
difficult
be
to
there. Yeah,
start.
it
Yeah.
was right on the edge of what was going to happen. Obviously, it messed up Stroll's race and it messed up Grosjean's race. So both had the penalty for that. And Kevin Magnussen qualifies really well, high in the for sharp end of the grid, but finished nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Just didn't have. They did a one. It seems like the one stop didn't
Didn't
work.
work.
There was a few that tried it and
Ricardo tried
just
it. Magnussen tried it.
yeah,
It wasn't the way to go. They were just too slow managing their tires, and it was
yeah,
the wrong strategy call ultimately. Magnussen, he did really well in the opening race, but again, not so great here. And as you were saying, Haas seemed to qualify really well, but their race
yeah, and then
pace pulls away.
yeah. So the qualifying pace, they're the fourth best team, like fairly comfortably, I'd say.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then on race pace, they're probably not. So, but it's a long season.
Long season. So promising signs from Haas, but Grosjean, I don't know. Well, you can't judge Grosjean really because both reasons have been out of his control.
Yeah.
You could say, but from what I've seen so far, looks like Magnussen's got the edge on him a little bit. Kimi Raikkonen drove a solid race.
Yeah.
He got himself up into the up in
Another solid race.
again. Kimi safe pair of hands, and the
think...
Sauber's looking good. Sorry, I said Sauber.
Oh.
I did a faux pas. Sorry, it's Alfa Romeo. It looks pretty good in his hands.
But it's got the soul of a Sauber.
If there's
what was that?
If there's such,
Were you drinking?
I had a little swig.
Of wine, I guess.
Of the fabulous red drink. Yes, so Raikkonen very good. Giovinazzi out, was he? No,
Joe
Giovinazzi. My apologies. Gustav. I remember him he had a coming together with Kvyat about before the pit stops. Not really a stop. Yeah, so Kvyat was torpedoed and crashed. So that was good. That made me laugh. Not much to say there.
No.
That was
one of my favourite parts of the race was Lance Stroll when he unlapped himself from
good point. Yes, that was a tetchy moment.
That was just a lovely moment.
A very lovable moment. Yes.
Although the thing is, we don't know if if Max had been in the lead, we don't know if he would have dealt with it the same way or not.
Yeah.
But let's assume that he wouldn't have got involved. It kind of proves himself wrong by letting him through without defending him. Like proving his last year when him and Ocon
He's learned.
And he kind of said, like, you shouldn't get involved with the lead racer, whereas we're all going, you shouldn't be involved with you're in the lead. Why are you involved with
don't risk
lapped car? Like, just let him pass. It's not affecting your race. Blah, blah, blah. So the fact he let a car unlap himself kind of proves himself to be wrong. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So he's learned. I suppose he's learned, but he made such a big deal about last year how it was completely Ocon's fault. Blah blah blah. But this, in my view, proves Ocon to be right and him to be wrong.
Indeed.
Do you agree?
No,
what's your think?
No, I'm absolutely with you on that one. If a lap car is coming up, he's just made a pit stop. He's on fresher tyres. There's no point wasting your time fighting him or stopping him and lapping himself because you're going to ruin your race. You're going to ruin his race. And like he did. Yeah, exactly, like he did. So I think Verstappen, that shows his capability of learning. I reckon he took that on board, and he's going with it. And good. That's a good sign.
It's good, but it's also like, I don't know. It's like backtracking on what he said before.
Well, he admits he's wrong.
He made such a stand about like he pushed him around and all that. He made him when he was saying like he made it completely Ocon's fault, and yet now he's I don't know. I feel like he's lost a little bit of his integrity.
Do you reckon? No, it's interesting you say that.
Well,
I don't think so.
Because he had his view and he was so sure about his view that he was right and Ocon was wrong.
Well,
but by allowing a lapped car to unlap himself without trying to like defend them or whatever he was trying to do the first time round, shows he was wrong to do that in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like not having a backbone. Like he's not willing to back up his point.
Well,
again, he's kind of going, okay, well, I was wrong. Just, I don't know if you kind of know what I mean.
I think
if you've got a view, you've got to be prepared to stick with your view. Like to go to the extent that he did to push a driver to say all the bad things he said and all stuff about him, to then you've got to back up that view. You can't then kind of like, maybe some days I'll give it that, but when it suits me, I won't. You know what I mean? It's sort of, you can't have it both ways.
Sorry. my view here is what Max said and did the Brazilian Grand Prix after the race was kind of heat of the moment, and I
Okay.
think he's gone away. He's thought about it and realised he's in the wrong. I
Yeah.
get what you're coming from though. You're right. He was resolute in what he said. You know, we've had the winter break. On reflection, he's thought, okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
messed up, and
Yeah. And
now
I think it all shows that he kind of accepts that it was his fault.
yeah. Yeah, no, well, now it would
I think that's what we
absolutely
can
now it
conclude.
would now indeed it would be the case. Seeing as we're on Red Bull, what do you make of Pierre
Pierre
Gasly
Gasly.
and his performance
I
so
don't know.
far?
So in the first race, he was nowhere. It seemed he just didn't. He just wasn't competing.
Mm,
He just. I don't know why. Like I know he got caught up in traffic during the race, and it's quite a hard place to overtake. He had the Toro Rosso in front of him, who has the same engine, I
that's
think.
right. Yeah,
I'm not sure if you can confirm that.
yeah,
Yeah.
the same.
So obviously it's difficult to pass basically the same car in terms of speed on the straights. But he seemed to be nowhere. And then this race as well, he didn't qualify that well.
Mm.
Where did he qualify?
Uh,
Did he get through Q1?
he got through
Was
Q1,
it
but he
Q?
was in Q. He was eliminated in Q2.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. He's either just not quite there yet, or the car's not. Something's not agreeing.
Yeah,
Like I don't know. Or is this a sign that he's not good enough?
yeah.
Like I know compared to Max, like we kind of all were like, well, Max is going to beat him because he would beat most drivers. But to this extent, is the Red Bull that bad a car? Like
Yeah, well, that's the problem, isn't it? Do you think he's too soon? Too soon for him to be in a top car?
maybe, yeah, maybe. I really like him, and I
I
really
like
want
him.
him to do
Yeah,
well. Yeah. I know. Like I think most of us do. Like most fans do. He's just seems like a nice guy. So, but yeah, maybe it's too soon. But
mm. 2 races in.
did he get much choice in the? Did the team kind of say, right, you're coming up? Like you're not going to turn
Well,
down that
that's the
sort of a
trouble. Yeah, if
chance.
you say no to drive a Red Bull, then that's your career is over. You know,
Yeah, you
you're not
can't.
gonna
Yeah,
say
you wouldn't, would
no.
you?
You're not gonna
Yeah,
say, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. No, you gotta go. You gotta go for it. Unfortunately, he's fighting with the midfield cars when Max
yeah,
Verstappen is challenging for podiums,
yeah. When he's up the
which
top.
obviously shows that's the capability of the car. So why isn't Gasly able to get that level of
Yeah,
same level of performance out of it? What's going on there? So Red Bull have really got to sit down with him and understand what's going wrong and turn it around quickly, because we know
yeah,
how a cutthroat environment Red Bull is with their drivers, and I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, he finished behind Alexander Albon in the Toro
yeah.
Rosso.
In the
I
tour.
mean,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
not really going to go down so well, is it?
No.
You need, yeah, and obviously in the Australia, he finished behind Danny Kivat.
Yeah, the other tour also. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
So he's got
it's
he's
one of those. It's one of those. Like if they didn't bring him, like if they didn't put Gasly in the car, and they put in another, like I don't know who, but if they put in someone else, then that's sort of saying that they don't have faith in Gasly,
yes,
if you know what I
yeah,
mean. But
yeah,
then now they've put him up, where we're all kind of going, oh, is it too soon? Does he need a year more?
it's
Have they rushed him and now it's worse off now?
yeah,
Like you can't. It's like damned if you do, damned if you
yeah.
don't.
Well, it begs a funny question: who would Red Bull bring in?
Well, yeah, exactly. Unless it's one of the tour, like another tour
You know,
Rosso.
even would they go Kvyat? Really? I can't see
Kvyat,
it.
no.
Albon is too young.
Brendan Hart,
Um,
not Brendan Hartley.
Brendan wouldn't go back. I don't think. The only person well,
No.
two people I could think they could go back on would either be Sebastian Buemi or Jean-Eric Verne, who were obviously
Oh,
racing in Formula E at the present
yeah,
moment. I'm sure they probably wouldn't say no to getting back into Formula One, but would
yeah,
they? I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. Like who could they go back on? They haven't really got a reserve driver, do they, Red Bull?
yeah. And they don't tend to go outside of their Red Bull team.
Circle,
Like
the
they tend
circle,
to
yeah.
promote. Yeah, yeah. So
Maybe
yeah,
David Coulthard has a chance for an unlikely comeback.
maybe,
I don't. I don't.
maybe.
I don't.
Oh,
I don't think so. Somehow.
did you see Hill did a tweet saying he's coming back for the next
Oh,
race?
did it?
Did you see
Oh, I
that?
didn't see that. That's really good to hear. Is he driving for Williams?
Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
finally,
yeah.
finally! It's
We should say
it's about
that
time.
date of recording is the 1st of April,
Well,
just
wait, what?
because people won't
What?
realise,
What do you
you know.
mean?
1st of April, the day of recording. It's April Fools, like
Oh,
Damon
it's not
Hill did
real.
April Fools.
Oh, I was really excited there.
Oh no, it is real. Sorry, I just mute that bit.
Oh dear. And do you want a
um,
quick mention on Williams then? George Russell finished a lap ahead of Robert Kubica.
he said he had a great time. He enjoyed
He's
himself.
having a great time. I guess that's all. I guess
Yeah,
that's all they can do, really.
it's a shame, isn't it, for him? Like first season F2 champion. He's just hasn't got the car yet.
I
So
was talking. I was saying about this. It's so weird. George Russell's obviously said he's the F2 champion, and the guy who finished second was Lando Norris. He's driving for
yeah,
McLaren, and the guy who finished third,
yeah,
Alexander Albon, he's Toro Rosso.
yeah,
He's ahead of him, and then George Russell, the champion, and he's at
yeah.
the back.
He's the one at the back.
How does
Yeah.
that work? You know.
Well, I guess if you're looking long term, he's got the Mercedes backing. So maybe Russell, longer term, will have the better
Yeah.
car.
I
He just
I
starts
do
off with less
think
car.
I do think that driving for the Williams this year is probably going to do him quite well. He's going to learn the
Yeah, learning
circuits,
curve.
learn the ropes, learn the circuits, and you'll see what it's like driving for a slower team. A bit like Daniel Ricciardo, he drove for HRT before moving up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he'll go from there.
Alonso did that as well when he was first in sport. The Minardi, he was at Minardi for a year.
Yeah, that's right. And then he moved to
Alonso.
Benetton, which became Renault.
Yeah. Good stuff. Other points of note?
We haven't mentioned Renault.
Ah,
Are we
yes.
going to go to Renault? What? Yeah, I think we'll finish on Renault.
Hulk.
So
Hulk. Yeah, Hulk had a good race. He would have been sixth, best of the rest.
Hulk had a very good race. Very impressive.
In fact, best of, including. Well, obviously, like I do include Pierre Gasly in the top six. Like, is it a top five now? I don't really know where to put him, but Hulk was kind of best of the rest if you don't include Pierre Gasly.
He was best of the rest. No, you're right.
Which he was last season.
It's where he likes to be. I think he's in that comfort zone, best of the rest.
Yeah,
no,
but nobody wants to give him a top drive.
It's
no one's taking a chance there.
Yeah, it's a bit odd that. I think he's going to be stuck there for a little while. No, Hulkenberg he drove a very good race, Calca race, in that fifth place, and then it all went wrong.
Yeah, I've never seen two cars. Were the two connected? Presumably not.
Well, they're both mechanical issues, so I don't think it was. I think it's just a strange coincidence that both the cars broke down on the same lap in virtually the same place. It's just bonkers, really, when you think about it. And what an embarrassment for Renault as well. I mean, blimey, and I bet Christian Horner must be feeling quite smug,
chuckling to himself.
Yeah, feeling quite smug with that.
Because I think on Sky Sports, one of the things they said, like when they first went off, is that have they run out of fuel? Like I think
no.
that was one of the first things, and then
it's not.
they were like, perhaps they
no news for.
didn't fuel them both, but it wasn't.
It wasn't that. That was rubbish from Sky Sports.
Oh, burn.
As usual.
Little dig. Sky Sports are brilliant. So,
except when they're wrong.
Which is very rarely. It wasn't that they were wrong, they were just
saying
suggesting things
rubbish
before we knew the facts. Which is good. It's good commentating. It's good punditry.
Well, it was quite obviously an engine problem because it just shut down. The engine didn't have any fuel in the car stop. You could see
but it just went quiet.
You could see
so
the
fuel might have just
run out.
Yeah, but when you first see them off, you're like, oh, they've both just randomly stopped together. You kind of go, okay, what could it be? What could it be? Anyway,
you jumped to
we're tangenting.
Jump to fuel? No, don't buy it. Ricardo, he led the race.
Did he?
He did lead the race for about 2 corners, and then Charles Leclerc overtook him. But Renault did indeed lead the race, not for a lap, but for a couple of meters. So that Renault, I think they've got a solid foundation going forward, but there's going to be a hell of a post-mortem because they've lost out a lot of points this season already.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ricardo not scoring in Australia. Hulkenberg did score, but obviously there's a fierce rivalry between them and Haas. And Haas. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it?
See, you used to say Haas, and I said Haas, and then
I swapped it.
Now we've swapped, and I say Haas, and you say Haas.
Can I just say the American team?
The American.
If I say the American team, does everyone know who I'm referring to? So the American team, big rival with Renault, and I think Renault's are probably overall the quicker package, and they definitely have one of the better driver lamps this year. Ricardo's still settling in, I think, to the Renault.
Yeah,
it's going to take a bit longer to totally get used to it, and it was a stronger performance, but they can't be having these reliability issues.
Yeah, I mean they nearly made it. They're only
a couple of laps to go, and obviously, and it saved Charles Leclerc's bacon because he would have been overtook by Verstappen had it not been for the late safety car, which was I wasn't too sure why a safety car was called actually, but that's just me.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
The car was in a potentially dangerous space, I suppose.
Yeah, they had stewards on the track, maybe.
Yeah, that's fine.
Quite an interesting thing is if the Renaults had broken down like 2 or 3 laps before they did, then Leclerc probably would have finished last.
Yes.
Because at the restart, everyone would have just been past
he would have
for the final lap or two.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right. That did cross my mind actually. Oh no, Leclerc's done for if they restart the race. He might as well just peel into the pit.
It's either going to be really good or rubbish.
Yeah. So there we are. So final thoughts on the race then?
Very good race. Had it all except for a big crash. Like there was no crash.
There wasn't any.
Really.
Lots of contacts, but no.
Not that we won a big crash, but there wasn't a crash.
The big highlight for me was the big highlight for me was seeing Sebastian Vettel's front wing completely collapse for a moment. That was quite a big incident, and you never see that.
Big sparks.
You never see that. It's an incredible image of Seb losing his front wing like that.
And obviously it could have gone much worse in it, could have depending on when he'd done that, he might have gone into
exactly. That's what I was thinking.
It happened at a good time, really.
Exactly. That's exactly what crossed my mind. If that had gone under him just as he broke for the corner, he would have been in the barriers, in the wall
at high speed.
Yes, quite. But they didn't avoided that, and instead finished in fifth position. So, what's the next race? Is China?
China in
question
2 weeks.
Question mark?
Just less than 2 weeks.
Time. Leclerc, I think Ferrari looks like they're definitely the team to beat at the moment. Maybe the car's a little bit more sensitive to certain track types. because
Yeah.
obviously in Australia they weren't so well. They weren't so good, and maybe it's a little bit more tricky set up. But obviously, but it looks to me like when they do get it set up in that sweet spot, the car is the team to beat at the moment. But Mercedes
Yeah.
are forever going to be there. You never can discount them, especially in the hands of Lewis Hamilton. Would like to see the Bottas 2.0 back again.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be nice.
That would be nice. So I think it's going to be an amazing
Mm.
season. There's a hell of a lot of stories, a lot to look out for. So yeah. To wrap up, we hope you've enjoyed this segment of us discussing the two races so far, and we hope to do more
Yeah.
regular ones as the season progresses. So if
Yeah.
you
So this is the first of a few. We hope.
yeah
At least a few
yeah
more
exactly.
to come.
So if you've enjoyed, give us a subscribe, give us a like, and comment as well if you have anything to add to the debate. So thanks very much to
Yeah.
Tom. Tom sounds tired.
Thank you. No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
He's
I'm cracking. Are we going to do another show
he's
straight after
cracking.
this one?
I don't think
A
that
proper
might be
Datslife?
a
No.
proper Datslife. Well,
Oh, sorry, little sorry, didn't. No, not that this isn't proper.
this
Like
is a
like
this is a Dats
this is
sports for you
an
to you.
F1. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, take that. Just mute that bit.
A lot of rubbish. Anyway,
Oh, no, it's been good.
thank you very much.
I'm enjoying myself. Thanks, Dave.
And we hope to see you all again in the next show.